Welcome to My Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Bobby needed to let me have it, Jada said in Everett's hospital room. Bobby grinned and said that he liked Jada's talking dirty. She became agitated and threatened to walk away if he remained silent. At last, Bobby admitted that he was aware of Lee Shin's murder. Bobby hadn't met the individual, so Jada wasn't convinced by his allegation. Jada also informed Bobby that Lee's murderer had been identified by the police. Bobby gave Jada a grin and told her the cops were looking for the wrong person. Bobby said that there had only been circumstantial evidence against Gil Carter. If Gil hadn't murdered Lee, Jada wanted Bobby to inform her. After all, had it not been Gabi, she inquired. Bobby told Jada that Gabi had been rightfully cleared of all charges and chastised her for the 2 times the police had misidentified the killer. Angry, Jada asked once again from Bobby, "How have you learned about the crime?" "Because I saw the person who killed Lee," Bobby said. Bobby's assertion was mocked by Jada since Lee had been killed in his flat. Unless Bobby had committed the crime, she said, he couldn't have seen it. Bobby smiled and told Jada he wasn't going to admit to the crime. He stated that Everett had been agitated when he had first came to town. It was after Bobby had assumed command that he had spotted the assassin. It's not often you come face to face with a killer, he thought. Jana was curious about the person's name. Jana questioned Bobby if he could identify the individual when he stated he didn't know their name. Bobby yawned unexpectedly, saying he really wanted to sleep. Against Jada's objections, he collapsed back into the bed and assured her he would tell her more the next day. Jana attempted to regain his focus, but he feigned a heavy yawn. Jana departed in frustration, and Bobby opened his eyes, grinned, and took out his book. As Connie walked inside Lee's former apartment, she couldn't help but think about Lie there. In the flashback, Lee was about to pick up the phone when he was stabbed in the back by someone brandishing a knife from behind him. Behind him, Connie was covered in blood as he slumped to the ground. Coming out of her flashback, Connie argued that Gabi had done the wrong thing, not her. Lee abruptly interrupted Connie from an adjacent table, telling her that Gabi hadn't stabbed him. Connie ran over to give Lee a hug. She declared his survival to be a miracle. Correcting her, Lee pulled Connie back, saying he was still as dead as they come. He said that Connie should know since she had murdered him. Connie refuted the claim that Lee had been tricked and humiliated by Gabi. However, Connie had slain him, and Lee's ghost remained. Lee was yelled at by Connie to cease saying things. Then she calmed down uncannily and rested her head on Lee's shoulder. "What transpired will remain between us indefinitely," she murmured, grinning dreamily. After blaming Gabi once again, Connie turned her attention to Melinda. Connie remembered about her first date with Lee. They'd spoken about true crime, biscuits, and tigers. Lee said, according to Connie, it was magical. Why hadn't Lee returned her call? She inquired. She cried out, "I'm not crazy," in response to his admission that she had believed her insane. Once again, she seemed regretful and said she moved into the flat to be nearer to Lee. Connie swore she would hold everyone accountable for Lee's demise. As she stood to depart, she told Lee that when she came back, they would snuggle and watch a true crime program. She smiled. "Won't that be grand?" Bobby later had a flashback of himself strolling around the park when he was in his room. He heard the sob of a lady. Connie, the lady, said that she had no intention of hurting Lee. Nicole asked at the Horton Town Square news conference what part EJ had played in Gabi's release. Even though it was he who had unfairly prosecuted her, Gabi grinned and stated she couldn't forget that it was EJ who had really been responsible for her freedom. Stefan watched in dismay as EJ shouted at Gabi, accusing her of not supporting him. Unfazed, Gabi said that EJ had let her free out of love. Obviously not for me, she said. Gabby went on to say that Nicole had gotten it done by EJ. Nicole asked questions, and Gabby said that EJ had been worried about losing Nicole to Eric Brady, the guy Nicole really loved. Nicole was perplexed. Then Gabby struck the last blow, revealing to everyone present that Eric was Jude's father. Stefan asked Gabby what she was doing as the photographers took shots and the reporters scrawled frantically in their notebooks. Rafe also went up to Gabby and warned her that it wasn't the right moment or location. In contrast, Gabby said that it was the perfect place. Calling Gabby confused, EJ attempted to adjourn the news conference, but Gabby intervened. Then EJ hurried up to Nicole and started accusing Gabby of lying. When Gabby got back to the platform, she said that she had evidence of Jude's real parents. Since Nicole was interested in hearing Gabby's proof, Gabby advised Nicole to consider Sloane's intentions. Because Sloane had convinced herself that the kid would stay with his real father, Gabby said Sloane had felt less bad about stealing the infant. Gabby asserted that Sloane had changed the findings of the DNA testing, to which Nicole responded that they had done so. Nicole squinted at Gabby while EJ digested the facts. EJ maintained that Gabby was lying as payback. Gabby retorted, saying that she had been driven by the need to make up for the horrible wrong that EJ had done. Without evidence, Nicole refused to upend her and EJ's life. Gabby gave in to Nicole's insistence on finding out where she got the information, saying, "My husband told me." Stefan attempted to slip away, but Nicole insisted that Stefan confirm whether or not what Gabby had said was accurate. Gabby questioned kindly if Stefan was going to label her a liar in front of everyone as he stammered out an answer. Stefan promised her that he wouldn't. Stefan grudgingly acknowledged that Gabby had been honest when she pushed him to say it loudly. Nicole persisted in her denial and claimed that Stefan and Gabby were attempting to harm EJ. Gabby said that Stefan had personally seen the results of the DNA test. Once again, Gabby forced a hurt Stefan to be honest. He apologized to EJ and then came clean. After furiously spitting out "damn you" at Stefan, EJ went to Nicole and she started apologizing to him. Nicole was questioned scornfully by Gabby why she was apologizing to EJ, as EJ already knew the truth. Gabby then told Nicole what she had discovered in EJ's safe about Stefan's DNA findings. Nicole pivoted and asked EJ whether Gabby's account was accurate. After Stefan's confirmation, EJ persisted in insisting that Gabby and Stefan were retaliating against one another. Rafe questioned why, after being set free by EJ, Gabby would be pursuing retribution. Even though Gabby detested EJ, she insisted that she was being honest. Nicole was urged to consider the reasons for Gabby's unexpected release and Melinda's amnesty. Gabby said that by caving in to Stefan and Melinda's extortion, EJ had been attempting to cover his bases. Gabby said, "I'm standing right here if you want proof." A furious EJ hurried up to Gabby, calling her a vindictive, ungrateful bitch. Even after Rafe intervened, EJ persisted in his verbal abuse of Gabby. She yelled at him, getting in his face, claiming EJ was the one who was being vengeful since he had brought charges against Gabby for a crime she hadn't done. "After everything you've done in your miserable life, you deserve 10 times the sentence you got," EJ grumbled. Nicole became enraged and demanded to know what EJ had to say after realizing the truth. She questioned if she would ever get a sorry. Nicole growled, "Answer me," making EJ squirm and back away. She said, "You knew," and took off. Rafe stopped EJ as he attempted to follow her, telling him that she wasn't going anywhere. Rafe insisted that EJ go to the police station and provide an account of his purported scam. Rafe was advised furiously to take it up with the DA's office by EJ, who then walked out. Rafe requested Stefan and Gabby to respond to his inquiries. Gabby promised that the next day, she and Stefan would make announcements at the station. Stefan asked to be left alone so he could talk to his wife. Rafe gave in. Stefan ordered Gabi to tell him what she had been thinking when Rafe departed. Gabi was reminded by Stefan that they made a deal with EJ. Gabi claimed to be aware. "Then why did you blow it all to hell?" said the man. Later, Jada ran into Rafe outside the bar. When she inquired about the press conference, he described it as exciting but withheld specifics. He was curious about Jada's encounter with Bobby. Rafe was surprised and skeptical when Jada told him about Bobby's assertions. Jana was determined to see the matter through because she thought Bobby's allegation could have some validity. Connie came out of the shadows and peered into the tavern after Jada and Rafe had entered. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any updates.